Let's jump into our first color, which is going to be yellow. So take a moment to find yellow in your art box, and I will be using markers, but you can use anything you have in your art box today. So let's go ahead and use our yellow on a lot of different places on our wonderful unicorn cake. So let's start out here at the very top where we have our candles. So let's go ahead with our yellow and color in the top of the candle where we have a little flame on both sides. So those two candles will get it. So next, let's go ahead and color in our unicorn's horn right here on the top of the cake. So this wonderful horn that we have here is very tall, very beautiful. Let's give it some nice color with a yellow color and make sure we make it stand out versus the rest of this beautiful cake. So we'll be using a lot of fun colors on our cake to make it a very nice, colorful cake at the very end. So now once you finished coloring the horn, let's actually color in the insides of both of the ears. So here we have our unicorn's ears. Let's go ahead and color those in yellow as well on the inside, and just take your time. There's a little bit less room on the inside there. And now let's start to color in some of the decorations that we have on our unicorn cake. So you see there's a lot of different wonderful flowers and icing on this cake. Let's start to color them in as we go. So I'm going to just pick two random ones. You can pick any ones you want as long as you mix the colors all throughout. I'm going to just choose this one right here and color this particular one in yellow. And as we go through and add more beautiful colors, it will all make sense and look wonderful at the very end. How about this one? I'm going to pick this one here that's just to the right of this wonderful flower that's in the front and make this yellow as well. And again, you can have creative freedom to pick whichever ones you want and also change the colors as you want. So let's continue to go down. So right over here, we have some icing on this cake on the sides that look like the legs and feet for our unicorn. So I'm going to pick both of the ends and make these parts of the icing in yellow as well. So we're going to mix all the colors throughout this beautiful cake as we go. All right, so why don't we now use our yellow on some of the background? So let's go ahead and fill in some of the stars with this yellow. So you have these beautiful stars and beautiful decorations around the cake. We don't want to forget those because it will give us a nice colorful page that really pops at the end if we color these in too. So we'll be using the cake to give us a wonderful coloring page and this background. So just do your best to color in these lines, outline it for yourself if it makes it a little bit easier. Just going to color it in as best as possible, taking our time as we go. And once you finish on the left side, you can finish out the star on the right. And then we have one tiny star at the very bottom that we cannot forget, just like that. And now let's move on to that little star at the very bottom. Beautiful. Excellent. You're all doing a terrific job. So now we can move on to our next color. We're going to start adding some really fun colors to the page. But first, let's get into our black. So black we'll use very quickly, and we want to color in those really cute unicorn cake eyes. So right in the middle, we have those outlines for the eyes, and we want to just color that in with black. So let's go ahead and make those in black, and it's very small. So just take your time with each eyelash. So we have the eyelashes here to represent the unicorn's eyes, and just take your time. Hopefully you have a marker with a thin point on it or a crayon that's nice and sharpened, but use your black. Just do your best and forget the rest. Just have a great time while you are being an artist and you are coloring your page. So just go very little spots at a time, one at a time. Beautiful. So now we are done with black, and let's move on to the next color, which will be a bright purple. So in your art box, if you have anything that's like a bright purple, find that and you can use it on a couple different places on this beautiful cake. So I want to use it to actually color in the stand on this cake. So let's go ahead and color that in and give it a really bright color, just like this. And if you don't have a bright purple, you can use a bright pink as well, like a hot pink. That will work just as fine. But go ahead and start to color in the outline here of this cake stand. And I wanted to use a bright color just to make the page that much more exciting. So this color here, you can go ahead and do on the bottom as well. As you go from left to right, color in the bottom of that cake stand. And just be careful once you get to the cake, as we want to leave the cake in white, the middle part, just like that. Wonderful. Excellent. So let's continue to go. We're about halfway there. And if we are moving a little fast, you can always hit that pause button and jump right back in when you're ready. That's the great part about it. So just continue to go. And we have a lot of space to work with here when we get to the middle. So it's nice. You can move a little more quickly. Continue to go all the way around just like this, and finishing out that part. You can move around now the right side of that cake and continue to go all the way around this beautiful cake stand. So now we have a unicorn cake that's going to sit on this really wonderful and colorful cake stand, just like that. Beautiful. So now let's move on to using this on one other area. So we do have our stars, but we also have these pieces of look like confetti decorations in the back. Let's pick one on some of the different colors that we're going to keep using. So let's pick this one right over here if you want, or you can choose another one. I'm going to use the same color and just add some more excitement to the background by doing it with that color. So now let's go on to the next color, which is going to be pink. So let's go ahead and find pink in your art box, and we're going to use this on a few different exciting places on our unicorn cake. Let's start out at the very top with the candle. So here you see these little stripes on the candle. I'm going to pick this one here on the right and just go ahead and color that in with that pink. Again, you can mix and match and change these colors or substitute any which way if you don't have some certain colors. That's the beautiful thing about coloring here and artwork in general. Let's go on now. Let's color in pink on a few of these decorations right here. And let's start out here in the left. So I'm going to pick this one, the very first little decoration that we have here with that icing right there. Then I'm going to skip a few and pick this one right behind the little yellow one that we picked. You see that? We're going to go ahead and color that in with that same color. And also I'm going to pick this one. So I'm skipping a few and then I'll pick this one right here, right beside the other yellow one. And once we put more and more colors onto these, you'll see it all come together nicely. Right here, I'll skip this one. Let's pick this one in the back, give that a little pink. And right over here on the far right, this last one will be in pink as well on my page. Again, you can do it the same way, or you can always change it up a little bit. So right here in the middle, this big, beautiful flower right there, right in between the eyelashes. Let's make this pink as well. Beautiful. So let's go around that shape and just try to be very careful, going up and down as best as you can, staying within that line and not going over into the main part of the cake, just like so. And once we finish out with this flower, I also want to use pink on the bottom here where we have some icing around the sides. So let's go ahead and start with the left side and just pick this area here for pink. And I'm going to do the same so they match. So right here on the right side, the same thing will make that match. So it looks very nice at the end. And why don't we use our pink on one of the decorations now in the background? So you can pick any of these that you still have left. I'll go ahead and pick this one on the very bottom. towards the left side, and I'll make that pink as well. Just like so. Beautiful. Very nice. So now let's move on to the next color, which is going to be violet. So if you have violet in your art box, or purple if you don't have violet, let's go ahead and use that on a couple of different places today. So let's start out with the other candle. So right here, this other candle where that stripe is, let's make that violet, just like that. Beautiful. And right over here, let's go ahead and make this piece on the back, this decoration piece, violet as well. And we're starting to really use these colors as much as possible. We're using them in multiple places, not only in the background, but throughout our cake, which makes it much more exciting to look at. So let's go now and pick a few of the places on the middle of our cake to add our violet. So let's pick this one here. If you want to follow along with the same ones, you can, again, change them up if you want. But I'm going to pick this one here that was right next to that pink and make that violet. And then I'll move on to the one that's right behind or above the flower. This one in the middle, I will make that a violet color. And this one right over here behind the pink one, right in there, just like that. And now what we can do is actually move on to our final color, which is going to be aqua. So if you have an aqua in your art box, go ahead, take a moment to grab that. Or if you don't, you can use always another color like a light blue. That will work great as well. So let's go and pick out a few places to finish coloring in our unicorn cake. So go in and any of the remaining little icing designs on the very top that are white, let's color those in. So here you can see I'm just going back in and coloring in the rest that I left white. You can use this to just fill those in. And when you fill them in, you should have a combination of different colors all over the unicorn cake on top, which makes it really fun and exciting. And it makes it look extra yummy, like a really delicious unicorn cake. So right here, I've colored in the last one of the decorations on the very top. And you see how all those wonderful colors work so great together. And now I'm going to use this to color in these last two pieces that I left in white over towards the bottom that are the arms of our unicorn in icing. And the same thing right over here with that aqua color. Beautiful. And what I will do now with the aqua is finish out these last two decorations that are in the back. So let's make these both aqua as well. So we've used our colors in multiple ways on both the background and also on the cake. So let's finish out with this last piece of decoration in the background, just like that. So now we finished coloring our unicorn cake together using 6 colors.